Well, I went to the Apple store and I went to the Microsoft store. They don't allow videotaping, so I went into both stores, and I was impressed with both stores. Not so much impressed with the iPhone. I am still not a fan of iPhone. I'm sorry. I don't think it's that great. Me personally, this is my opinion though, and I am entitled to my opinion. For people who love iPhones, stay with it. I mean, if you like your iPhone, iPhone's great. It all depends on what you like. But I just didn't like it myself. Okay. Of course, they don't have any iPhone 5 on display or anything with iOS 6 on it, so I wasn't able to see any of those features that's going to come out in iOS 6 as advertised in the WWDC. So that's fun. That's cool. That's a cool thing. Um, because later on this year, when I'm going to start buying these products, I'm going to revisit the iOS 6 just to see, just to make sure. If I have the money to buy both a Windows Phone 8 and iOS 6 device, I will do it. I will definitely do it. Because I think iPhone has a lot of great features, but the Windows Phone has the features that I want, like Microsoft Office, access to my SharePoint site, Exchange, everything that the Windows Phone does, it does beautifully and on a Windows Phone versus any other device that's out there. If my company used complete Google Apps, then I will go with Android. And that's something I mentioned in a post. The link to my post is in the description below, where I talked about which smartphone is the best. Well, which smartphone is the best for you is the actual question. If your company is 100% Google, use Google Mail, Google Apps, Google Docs, I will say go with Android. Get the 4.1 Jelly Bean and be happy. Because that phone will work better for you than an iPhone, than a Windows Phone. Windows Phone and iPhone won't do nothing for you if you're using Google. Yes, you can access Gmail on iPhone, and there are some apps available from actual Google native apps that will work on an iPhone just fine, like accessing Google Docs. But I think that the Android will be a better fit for you if you're using mostly Google apps or Google products. But if you're using mostly Microsoft products, like Microsoft Office, Exchange, SharePoint, especially Office 365. My company uses Office 365. I'm sorry if the camera's going up and down. My apologies. Um, but if you're using Office 365, Windows Phone, please, because you have access to all your SharePoint documents. You have access to your to all of your Exchange, everything. Everything that you want is available to you on the road. And so a Windows Phone will be better for you than an iPhone, than a Android. Let me turn off the car so I don't waste gas here. Um, it's really hot though. It's like hot immediately. Um, now, I'm a Windows person, and I'm a Windows Phone person, and but I do have a love for gadgets as a whole. I love gadgets. And let me tell you, if I had all the money in the world, I would have a Nexus, phone and tablet. I would have a iPad and an iPhone. And you know what? I would even get service with any of those devices, because I'll just use it off the Wi-Fi, because I just love gadgets. And the more gadgets I have, the better. I would have an Xbox as well as an Apple TV, device. I would have a Google TV connected to an Xbox that's also connected to an Apple TV. That's just me. If I had all the money in the world, I would get all that and place it in my living room. Plus a 7x1 Dolby Digital surround sound with THX. I have all that. Okay. Um, but really and truly, I can only get one or the other. And so my choice is Windows Phone, Microsoft Surface, and a damn good desktop. Microsoft Surface is for on the road, like I need to take, it's like a laptop as well as a tablet, and I can just take it anywhere I want to go. My desktop is my video editing, my hardcore graphics machine, and then my phone will be my phone, which also has access to all of my Office documents and SharePoint, Exchange. I mean, all that stuff. Link online. Everything I want is right there. So, you know, looking at it objectively and in a non-biased way, Apple Store has a lot of great products in there. I was very impressed. I wasn't that impressed about the iPhone, though. I do have to say that. I do not like the iPhone. But it's a solid product. Okay, let me tell you. The iPhone is solid. In fact, if I had a choice between Android and an iPhone, I would choose iPhone. Seriously. If Windows Phone wasn't in the picture at all, I would choose an iPhone over an Android. I just like the iPhone better. I probably dislike Android more. So basically, what you want to do is choose the product that's best for you and only choose that only. And don't choose something that other people recommend. Okay? If other people recommend something, that's what they prefer. If someone come and ask me, hey, which phone do you think is the best? Because I know you know a lot about phones. I would tell them, well, what do you use mostly? Are you really into social media? Are you really into, do you have Exchange with your job? Do you have Google with your job? Do you use a lot of Google services? Because the Windows Phone doesn't really have a lot of Google stuff on it. You can access Gmail on a Windows Phone, but but all the other stuff, like there are third-party apps that can access Google Docs, but any Google-made apps is not really that available on a Windows Phone than, like say, the Android and iPhone. Are you a person that loves a crap load of apps? If you are a crap load of apps person, then go with an iPhone or an Android, because there is a shitload of apps on there. Do you want a phone that you can tinker with, mess with, fuck with, just break and adjust any way you like? Go with Android, because Android, you can do whatever you want to it, almost anything you want. Just make sure you get a good Android, because a cheap Android won't do you any good. And that's one thing I will say. A cheap Android won't do you any good whatsoever. It's messed up, okay? You have to have top-of-the-line Android in order to do everything that you want, or at least the top 5 Android phones as far as power, speed, compatibility. You need to have a good Android that can handle the processing time, because if you have a slow Android or you buy a cheap Android, then you won't really have the speed in order to handle all your apps. Do not go out and buy a cheap Android. It just won't do you any good. You have to get a really good Android. So if you're coming up on your 2-year plan and you want to get another Android or an Android, go for it. But make sure you use that 2-year subsidized fees or whatever they call it, and spend $200 on a good Android. Okay? If you want a Windows phone, I strongly suggest either the Titan or the Nokia Lumia 900. And if you're with a provider that doesn't have the Lumia or the Titan or even the Samsung Focus 2, if you're on a provider that doesn't have those, then just get the best one they have. If you want an iPhone, then you get the iPhone with either, I think it's just Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T. I'm not really sure, okay? But that's the kind of things I would suggest to people. I would ask them questions. What do you do? What do you want to do on your phone? How do you want to do it? How do you want to go about doing it? Then choose the phone that's best for you. I will help them make that selection. If they say, I use a lot of Google service. I use AdSense. I use Docs or Drive now, Google Drive. I'm a big, heavy user of Google Plus. I do this and I do that. And, I love Google Groups. And I have a Gmail. I have 5, 15, 20 Gmail accounts. and my job uses Google Apps, Android, get the Android. Okay, then I would recommend make sure you get a really good Android, a good one like the Nexus. I would suggest getting the Google Nexus. Okay. Um, if someone says, "Oh, I like a lot of apps. I just want a phone that's fun, that's exciting, and I'm also a very big lover of Apple products. iPhone, get the iPhone." Someone says, "Oh yeah, my company uses Exchange, SharePoint, and we have a subscription with Office 365. I do." I said, "Well, do you use a lot of apps? Would you use a lot of apps?" "No, I'm not really a heavy app user. I mean, a couple of games here and there, but apps is not really a big concern for me. I just want to have access to my calendars, my emails, my work emails. I have a Hotmail account. Um, I have an Xbox at home that I like to play with too. Windows Phone." Okay, so people don't don't recommend any apps or apps. You can recommend any apps you want. Don't recommend any phones to anybody if that is your choice. Ask them, what phone would you prefer? Because they can get you like iPhone, you can suggest iPhone, and guess what will happen? They may not like it. They may say, "Oh, this totally sucks. I hate it." This is before Windows Phone came out. My mom asked me, "What's a really good smartphone?" I told her, "Well, for you, because I know Android, it's a little difficult to use. It's not really an easy phone to use. Geeks, yes. You geeks out there, you know how to use a damn computer, okay? I'm talking about people like my mother who rarely touches the computer, but my mother did want a good smartphone. So she asked me, what's a really good smartphone out there?" And the first thing I thought was, ease of use, a lot of cool little apps that you can download. Yep, get the iPhone. Get the iPhone, Mom. She got it. She hated it. She took that phone back and got herself a regular phone with a lot of features. I don't know what you call those kind of phones, but they're not smartphones. But it has a lot of features on it, but nothing like iPhone or. In fact, actually, I'm not sure what phone she got because when she got the phone, I wasn't with her. So, and I asked her what type of phone it is, and she didn't know. I said, "Mom, just read the cover of the phone," and she was like, I don't know. It's a Samsung." I'm like, "Okay, well that really doesn't help because Samsung makes all kinds of different phones." I said, "Does it have tiles on it, like a certain tiles? Does it say people? Does it say nope? It's not that. Does it have like little buttons on it, icons?" I said, "Yep." Does it have a keyboard on it? Yes. Okay, it's not the iPhone. All right. So I kind of wish she stayed with the iPhone, and if I was able to visit her and show her how to use it, I would have been happy for her to use the iPhone. And even though I don't like iPhone myself, I think she would have been pleased with iPhone. I think she would have loved the iPhone if she had understood it more. I've been talking for a long time. I need to get to my clients right now. I have one of my clients I have to get to, so just want to let you know that I was about to shoot video in the Apple Store and the Microsoft Store, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately. So, and it can happen. So that's it. I wasn't able to shoot videos like I wanted inside the store itself. So peace out, and hey, what's up?